Greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide and methane are greenhouse gases. In Stage 8, you learned how carbon dioxide helps to keep the Earth warm. Without any carbon dioxide in the atmosphere at all, the Earth would be a frozen place, unable to support life. But at the moment, we have too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Look back at the carbon cycle diagram in topic 1.3. You can see that some carbon from the atmosphere ends up in fossil fuels. It takes a long time to form fossil fuels, and they can then stay buried in the ground for millions of years. But if we extract them and burn them, we release the carbon in them back into the air, in the form of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere are increasing. This is affecting the climate on Earth. Climate change in the past. Climate is the long-term pattern of temperatures, wind, and rainfall on Earth. The Earth's climate has been very different in the past compared to the climate today. Here are some examples of changes that we know about. Ice ages. About 2 billion years ago, the Earth experienced the first ice age that we know about. Since then, the Earth has cycled between relatively warm periods and relatively cold ones. In the warm periods there was no ice at all, even at the poles. In the colder periods called ice ages, there was ice at the poles. Snowball Earth. On at least one occasion, perhaps about 650 million years ago, the whole Earth was covered with ice and snow. Scientists call this snowball Earth, or sometimes slushball Earth, because they are not sure whether everything was completely frozen. Slush is melting ice. Scientists still do not completely understand what caused this to happen. This is what the Earth may have looked like 650 million years ago. At that time, the continents were not in the same positions as now. Asteroids colliding with each other 470 million years ago, scientists think that two asteroids collided with one another when they were in space, somewhere in between Earth and Mars. The collision produced huge quantities of dust. The dust reduced the amount of light and heat from the sun reaching the Earth's surface. This triggered an ice age. The Earth became much colder, the ice caps spread much further from the poles, and sea level fell. 67 million years ago, an asteroid collided with Earth. Researchers have identified an area on the coast of Mexico where the asteroid impact took place. There was huge devastation close to where the asteroid fell. It would have been like a massive bomb exploding with shock waves and very high temperatures spreading out from the crater. But the collision affected the whole planet, not just the surrounding area, because it threw huge quantities of rock and dust into the air. It would also have created a massive tsunami, a huge sea wave, which could have spread across all of the Earth's oceans. The dust in the air meant that less light reached the Earth's surface. Plants could not photosynthesize, so animals had less food. As well as the disruption to food chains, the Earth became much colder because less heat from the sun could reach the surface. Most scientists think that these changes in climate caused by the asteroid impact explain why dinosaurs became extinct around this time. Not only the dinosaurs but also many other species on Earth were destroyed as a result of the climate change following the asteroid collision. The asteroid caused a mass extinction. Up to 75% of all the species on Earth that were alive at that time are thought to have become extinct because of the asteroid collision. There are about 175 known asteroid impact craters around the world. The crater shown in the picture is in the USA. The crater is more than 1 kilometer wide and 170 m deep. It is estimated that the asteroid collision that formed this crater happened 50,000 years ago. Could other objects collide with Earth? Objects in space that are smaller than an asteroid are called meteoroids. When meteoroids enter Earth's atmosphere, they are called meteors. Some people call meteors shooting stars as they appear like stars moving very fast across the sky. They usually present little risk as they burn in the atmosphere due to heat from friction. Some large ones can create shock waves. In 2013, a meteor exploded over Russia and shattered windows. The parts of meteoroids that do collide with Earth are called meteorites. Around 500 of these reach Earth's surface each year. If an object is large enough, it can cause local damage or even damage that affects the whole planet. In 1998, scientists started making detailed observations of objects that could possibly cause damage to Earth. When assessing the possible risk to Earth, scientists look at the mass or diameter of the asteroid, the closest possible approach to Earth. An asteroid passing further from Earth may be a greater risk than one passing closer if its mass is greater. The picture shows an asteroid called 2006 DP14 colliding with Earth would cause an explosion equivalent to about 20 million tons of explosives.
Climate change today and in the future. For the last 2,000 years or so, our climate has been fairly stable. People living in different places have become used to having more rain at some times of year than at other times, or temperatures that change in a predictable way during one year. Knowing this helps people to choose the best crops to grow, and to know when they should sow seed and collect the harvest. Now, however, the mean temperatures on Earth are increasing. This is caused by an increase in carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere. Remember that carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, which traps heat energy close to the Earth's surface. When carbon dioxide concentrations increase, more heat is trapped. The graph shows how the Earth's mean temperature changed between 1880 and 2016. Notice that the y-axis on the graph does not show the actual temperature. It shows how much it differs from the temperature in 1880. Impacts of climate change. More extreme weather events. We are already feeling the effects of this increase in temperature. The higher temperatures mean that there is more energy in the atmosphere. This increases the chance of extreme weather events, such as hurricanes and typhoons. Many scientists think that we are already seeing an increase in the number of storms and in their severity. It is difficult to be certain because there has always been a lot of variation each year in the number of big storms. Tropical cyclone Idai hit the east coast of southern Africa in 2019. It was one of the worst storms ever to affect Africa and killed more than 1,300 people. Severe flooding destroyed homes and fields, damaging people's livelihoods. Was this a result of climate change? We cannot say because storms like this can happen anyway. However, there seem to be more of them now, and they are more violent. Less predictable rainfall. The changing climate is also making it more difficult for people in some parts of the world to grow crops. Rains may come late or might not come at all. Or rain may fall when it doesn't normally fall or fall much more heavily, causing flooding. Monsoon rains are usually welcomed, but not when they are so heavy that they cause severe flooding. In 2019, the monsoon rains in Pakistan, India, Nepal, and Bangladesh came later, and were heavier than usual. Millions of people in these countries were affected by floods. When rains fail, people may lose their harvests. Long droughts also increase the risk of wildfires. All of these changes affect not only people, but also plants and animals. This wildfire in Australia followed a long period of drought. Rising sea levels. The increase in the Earth's mean temperature affects sea level. Water expands as it is heated, so if the sea temperature increases, sea level rises. Melting ice caps and glaciers add extra water to the oceans. This glacier is getting smaller, retreating, as temperatures increase. You can see that the ice used to reach much higher up the sides of the valley. Sea level has been rising at a rate of about 3 mm per year. Scientists estimate that more than 600 million people are at risk from flooding caused by sea level rise by the end of this century. Many megacities are built on the coast, such as Shanghai, Mumbai, and Los Angeles, and these are especially vulnerable to sea level rise.
What are greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide and methane. What would happen without carbon dioxide? Earth would freeze. Where does some atmospheric carbon end up? In fossil fuels. What happens when fossil fuels are burned? Carbon is released. What is the effect of increasing carbon dioxide levels? Climate change. What is snowball Earth? Earth covered in ice. When did snowball Earth occur? 650 million years ago. What is climate? Long-term weather patterns. What do scientists not fully understand about snowball Earth? Its exact cause. What is slush?
Melting ice.
What happens to carbon in fossil fuels over time? It stays buried. What is the current issue with carbon dioxide? Too much in air. What does burning fossil fuels release?
Carbon dioxide.
What is the long-term effect of increased carbon dioxide?
Climate change.
What is the main component of fossil fuels?
Carbon.
What is a potential result of climate change?
Rising sea levels.
What is the role of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Keeps Earth warm. What is the current trend of carbon dioxide levels?
Increasing.
What is a characteristic of past climate change? Varied temperatures. What is a consequence of burning fossil fuels? More carbon dioxide.